Hello, I'm Brent Boynton, longtime member of the National Security Forum and friend of its founder, Dr. Colonel Tyrus Cobb, here of Reno. Some of the people who enjoy the forum and benefit from the discussion that we have on a regular basis have asked us to talk a little bit about the history of the forum, how it was born, and it's important to the people here in Reno. First, Ty, it starts with you. You're an interesting guy. You came here with a head for world affairs. Why?
I had been in international affairs and national security issues for quite some time, included 6 years in the Reagan White House on the National Security Council staff, and 7 years as a tenured professor teaching at West Point, as well as 26 years in the Army, which included 3 years in Europe, 2 tours in Vietnam in combat, and 3 years at the Pentagon.
So you do have a little bit of an idea of what a conversation should look like. Why Reno?
During all of these times, I frequently participated in council and foreign relation groups or world affairs councils or such entities that most communities had. I was a little disappointed when I came here to see there was really no such organization in Reno. So a bunch of us began meeting informally over breakfast to talk about these issues, and that nurtured the concept of creating an actual entity that would conduct programs relating to critical national security issues. And from that, the National Security Forum in Northern Nevada was born.
It's interesting you said a bunch of us.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that you were not the only person with a very unique background here.
Ironically, I found that this is an area that attracts a lot of people in retirement who have extensive experience in the military, defense, intelligence, and medical areas. A lot of people whose first name is General, Admiral, or Ambassador. And because of that rich load of expertise in this Northern Nevada, Northern California area, we were able to put together programs, principally initially just utilizing individuals who were here.
And then you were able to bring some folks in because of your ties to Washington.
Continued ties to the establishment of think tanks across the country, the national security establishment in Washington, and we've been able to tap into that to bring to Reno renowned and most expert individuals to speak on these critical topics.
Now, I remember when I was invited to one of these early events, and it was a dozen people for breakfast.
Yes.
It has grown to how big now?
Well, frequently at our meetings now, which are being held at the Sands, we'll have over 250 individuals. And last month when Ambassador Chris Hill spoke, we had over 330 at that meeting.
And you've attained 501c3 status?
We are a nonprofit, and so consequently, we do have the nonprofit 501c3 status, and that enables us to be neutral. We're not an advocacy organization. We don't preach one line that would be acceptable to Democrats or, on the other hand, to Republicans or to various factions in each party. We do try to be neutral and to present balanced programs.
We talked to some of our members who have attended some of these meetings to ask them what they get out of the forum and what it provides to our community.
If you're going to argue about something, which seems to be everybody's favorite sport these days, you better have the facts. And you don't get those on Twitter, and you don't get them on Instagram, and you don't get them on Facebook. You get the facts from honest, well-spoken people who are knowledgeable and are able to communicate that knowledge in a level, in words that I and those of us who are perhaps not on their same level, that we can understand.
I mean, I think this is so unique. I mean, you know, just go back to the Kurdistan one, right? That was the first one I went to. Jill Derby was the person speaking that day. Unbelievable amount of information, you know. If you'd asked me what Kurdistan was before, I would have said maybe yogurt? I don't know, you know. I mean, you just don't get the feel. And then she just packed everything in to that hour of time that she spoke. And it was just incredible. So, I mean, you just don't see any of that, yet you hear all the stuff on the news all the time. And now you can start to put a little bit of the pieces of the puzzle together.
I feel a lot more informed. As we all know, there's a lot of chatter, whether it's on social media or otherwise, about politics. And so to feel like I have, in some sense, an upper hand when it comes to certain topics is nice. I think that there are a lot of people out there who get their news from sources that maybe aren't so credible and jump on a bandwagon. So to have such astute speakers and these individuals with very impressive backgrounds and hands-on experience with a lot of these topics has been very, very valuable for me. And so when I do engage in a conversation, I feel a lot more confident.
Why should I go if I've never been to one of these forums before?
It's an opportunity to meet with individuals who will be speaking with tremendous expertise and background in national security affairs, where you can broaden your horizons and enable you to make much better decisions as you select those who are going to represent you.
Absolutely. I'm so proud of this community. And that community extends up to Tahoe and down south, past, through and past Carson City, because these knowledgeable, experienced people are willing to share their stories and their knowledge with us.
Well, I think it's twofold. I think not only is it gaining the knowledge from the speakers, feeling like we are, even though we're not the largest city, to feel like, okay, we matter. You know, we have these important people coming to speak about these topics. The fact that the camaraderie in the room is huge. Again, you have a lot of people who have their own stories and their own background. So I think it brings people together. It gives us something to look forward to and learn about.
It's something that may not be well known, but it's certainly something that raises the quality of living for those of us who live in northern Nevada. Ty Cobb, Colonel Dr. Tyrus Cobb, founder, thank you very much for starting this organization and sharing your expertise.
And it's my pleasure to be with you today, Brent, and I'm just so pleased that the programs we conduct have had such widespread positive response in this community.
Thank you for watching, and if you want to be a better informed member of our community and of the world community, we ask you to join us at the National Security Forum.
Because there's always something new to learn. There's always something new.